everyone. I, Uzma Syed, on behalf of our Meraki in Pre-Incubation and Incubation Center, consider it as a great honor to welcome our chief guest and keynote speaker, Mr. Satyendra Gupta, Mr. Rushi Dantra, and Ms. Vama Sethia for today's event. I heartily welcome you all. I also welcome our invited teachers, Anuja Navarkar ma'am, Lubina Gonzalez ma'am, for this event. I would also like to welcome our students for this session. Now, I would like to invite Madiha Sheikh to please take over the session.
Hello everyone, a very good morning. I am Madiha Sheikh. I am here to give an introduction on Vivek College of Commerce, Meraki, Pre-Incubation and Incubation Center, and also our speaker, Mr. Satyendra Gupta, co-founder and director of Neopark Technologies, and Mr. Rushi Dantra. IT is a charitable institution set up in year 1961, had established Vivek Vidyalaya in 1962, and followed it up by starting junior college. Vivek College of Commerce was started in the year 1986. It is recognized as a vibrant institution continuously for the cause of education. Meraki was firstly known as ECEL, that is Entrepreneurship Cell. It was started in the year 11 December 2018 and later got developed into Meraki Pre-Incubation and Incubation Center in the year 28th December 2021. Vivek College of Commerce is the first college in Maharashtra to inaugurate Incubation Center under MITSC, Maharashtra Information Technology Support Center. We have registered ourselves under Ministry of Education Institution Innovation Council, which we have successfully completed and approved all our quarter 1 and 2 activities. Under ISC, we also have Adult Tinkering Lab scheme in which we do mapping in different schools. Let us now hear about our speaker, Mr. Satyendra Gupta, co-founder and director of Neopark Technologies. He did his bachelor's in engineering in electronics in 2020 from the University of Mumbai. During his graduation, he simulated motions of Messenger Robot 1 and Messenger Robot 2 using Simulink and Simscape. In 2018, he designed a PID control logic for line polling robots using Simulink and MATLAB embedded coder and deployed on Arduino Nano board. He is also a top 10 finalist on Earth Tech Challenge and pitched at the Earth Tech Summit at Makepeace Island, Australia. He was first runner of Best Campus Startup Challenge hosted by SIGN, IIT Bombay. In 2020, he was a finalist of Tesco Agri TGEM and pitched virtually at World Agri-Tech Innovation Summit 2020 and presented at the grand finale of National Bio Entrepreneurship Competition NBAC 2020. Now, I would like Ms. Anuja Navarkar to felicitate our guest of today, Mr. Satyendra Gupta, co-founder and CEO of Neopark Technology. And now we also do the lighting of the lamp. So I request everyone to please keep on clapping.
My name is Satyendra Gupta, and I think I will just quickly introduce myself and also share about our startup journey. So I'm also a recently graduated student, passed out in 2020 with a bachelor's degree in engineering from DJ Sangvi College of Engineering, Mumbai University. So how our startup journey started was in third year of engineering college. we just came up with the idea, right, of a rapid soil testing device for agricultural testing, and participated in a national level hardware innovation competition called India Innovation Challenge Design Contest. And after putting in effort for an year, like we were announced as one of the winners of that competition and got grant funding from DST, Department of Science and Technology, and incubation support at NSRCL, Incubation Center of IIM Bangalore. And that was the most key part which actually kick-started our startup journey. So that is how we started our startup, and that is why I'm very thankful to Meraki Pre-Incubation and Incubation Center for organizing this session. Like, I just want to give you an idea that if you have an idea, right, you want to take it ahead to a startup, and incubation center, this can be the starting point for you. So, and it was like during one of these sessions, right, at our incubation center, when I learned most of what I know about business. So I will be sharing most of our learnings today in today's session on business model canvas. So with that, let's start. I just want to say a couple of things, like we'll keep this session very interactive, right? I will ask few questions, you guys can answer that, just raise your hand and answer it, no need to stand up. And also, like, you guys can feel free to ask questions if you have anything in between. Okay, so we'll just keep it very interactive. Okay, so the first question I actually wanted to ask is very generic, right? What is business? Like, anybody wants to answer? Like, when I say business, what comes to your mind, right? What is the first thing that comes to your mind when we say business? Earning profit. Okay. Okay, good point. Anything else?
So, producing goods and services for money.
Producing goods and services for money.
Yeah.
That's also quite right. Anything else? Yeah.
Entrepreneurship
What does entrepreneurship means?
means like a person who has a startup.
Startup. Okay, starting up. Okay. Anything else? Like, how does it start, right? How do you start a business? Why do you want to start? Or like, one thing you mentioned, profit, right? But you don't always just start for profit, right? Something else as well comes first. Yeah.
Idea.
Yeah, who said it? Yeah. So idea is the first thing. Okay, no problem. So idea is the first thing. I think you start the business, right? And the idea is not just idea itself, right? Many times we think that it's just the idea with which we have to start the problem, but an idea can be broken down into steps, right? And one step is problem identification, right? You need to understand what is the requirement. You take any business out there, it is only started because there is a need, there is a requirement. And with that, like, an idea comes up. Many times when you get an idea, it's mostly because there was a problem which you were facing, and then you wanted a solution for it, and that's how that idea came up. Okay. So the next part is any more answers on why you start a business? So this was a what part, right? What is a business? You start with an idea. Okay. Anything else, like why you start a business?
To contribute for society.
Okay, that is also a very important part. I got a earlier answer of making profits. Another was contributing to society. Like, these are two extreme answers, I will say. So, like, let's call it purpose, right? Why you want to start a business? Okay, like, it can be purely commercial, purely generating profits, revenue, or it can be purely social, right? You just want to do good for the society, and that is when you actually start a non-profit organization, an NGO. So that is also a business actually, right? So, but it can be a mix of both. Why I want to stress on purpose is when you start an business, right? Being a business owner, I can tell you this myself, that if you start a business purely for money, there might be a point where you will lose interest in that business and just give it up. But like, it is very important to have a sense of purpose in that business, right? Why I want to do this? Like, this is the problem, this is what I want to solve, and this is the good I want to do for the society. So it is very important for you to identify what is the purpose of your business and like solve for it. Okay, so your purpose is a very key component in the business. Then the next is when does a person pay for anything, right? When you're satisfied, okay. But like, that will be like after you have paid it and then you get satisfied. But anything else? Innovative, like not necessarily. Like again, that comes after. But like, if I want to take something, why will I pay for something?
In exchange of goods.
Exchange of goods.
Needs.
Okay, one at a time. Okay, so exchange of goods, like that could be called trading. Like exchange of goods is just pure exchange, right? Anything else? Needs and wants, like that's similar, something on the similar lines. So like what I like to call it, or many people in the startup ecosystem or business ecosystem call it, is value. Like people always pay for value, right? We pay for a product or service when a value is being delivered to us, right? If I'm buying something, it is going to give me some value, right? It is being going to be of some use. If I'm taking some service, most probably it might be going to save my time or making my job easy. So that is something we call value. So if you are building a business, there needs to be a core value attached to it, like what you are doing, why you are doing, what is the value you are delivering to the customer. If there is no value, like he won't be paying for it, right? A business has the component you have to, you need paying users, right? Okay, so the fourth component I feel in a business is the entity, right? Once you have the idea, you have the purpose, you know what you are going to deliver to your customers, right? You need to form the entity, or let's call it execution, right? An idea is just an idea until you actually implement it. It won't be a business until you actually implement it. So entity is a key part, like how to incorporate a business, right? There are different forms of businesses: a private limited company, a limited liability partnership, a non-profit organization. So you need to form an entity. You need to perform operations, right? Let's say you are building some product, you have to build that product, you have to market it, you have to sell it. There's a complete set of operations, right? So this forms the execution part. So this is also a key component. Okay, so combining all this forms the business. Okay, so with that, like anything else, any thoughts you want to add on the business part? Okay, no, we are good. Okay, let's move to the next slide. Okay, so what is a canvas, right? Anybody wants to answer? What is a canvas? Draft. Okay, but I just want to know a generic meaning of canvas. Yeah.
A paper where you can draw.
Right, absolutely correct. A canvas is something, a blank slate, right, which you can use to draw, right? Like we used to draw in our childhood. Okay, so a canvas is actually a visual tool, right? A business canvas is a visual tool which can be used for analysis, communication, and summarizing a business much more easily. You must have heard about business models or business description. That can be like pages and pages of a documentation. But a business model canvas can be a very simple tool to explain your business in a short summary, right? For communicating. For communicating with whom? With your team, right? Internal team. Let's say you are getting a new team member tomorrow. You need to explain him what is your business, right? What you are building, what you for whom you are building, and so on. So it can be a very good visual tool for communicating with your team, with your stakeholders. Now, stakeholders is everyone you are interacting with in your startup or in your business, right? Your customers, your partners, even your investors, right? You need to explain them what is your business, how you are doing it, how you are making money, what is the value you are delivering. So, a canvas, a business model canvas can be a very good tool for this purposes. So there are actually different types of canvas for this purpose, like business model canvas. So when I say business model canvas, it means the commercial version of it. It is the most widely used version of the business model canvas. But there are other. There are other versions of the business canvases as well. Like some of them are lean canvas. So what lean canvas means is you iterate, right? You have an idea. You make a small MVP, minimum viable product, you test it out in real environment and then iterate. That is the lean model. You build, test, iterate, and that is the process until you actually achieve the product market fit, right? How do you define a product market fit? Is that your customers keep coming automatically. You don't have to like spend too heavily on marketing to get new customers. So that is the lean canvas. Then there are customer persona canvas. which are more focused on customers, right? So when you start a business, you might be looking at different customer segments, right? Each segment might vary from one another. So customer persona canvas is very useful for focusing on just one segment and going deeper, understanding that segment better. Okay. Then there is value proposition canvas, and another canvas is product canvas. So these are more specific to solutions. Like once, let's say you have identified the problem, you are very clear who is your customer. You just want to improve your value proposition in your product. You want to add more features. So that is when value proposition canvas and product canvas can be useful. And then platform. Actually, in business, like I wanted to highlight one thing. There can be two types of businesses. One we call it pipeline business, and another we call it platform businesses. So pipeline business is somewhere like you have a proper supply to demand channel, right? On the supply side, you have suppliers, raw materials, your own resources. You build a value or product or service, right? And then you give it to the demand side. That is your customers. That is the proper pipeline business. Okay. But a platform business is somewhere where you get all the stakeholders together. For a very good example of a platform business is Amazon. It has its like you have the vendors who sell stuff on Amazon, and then there are the customers who buy it on Amazon, right? So Amazon is actually a platform which getting all these stakeholders together. So it is a platform business. While the commercial version of the business model canvas can be used for platforms as well, but it might get too heavy, right? Because you will have multiple types of customer segments, multiple types of partners. So that is why there is a very specific platform canvas for platform businesses, but we can also use the commercial version. And the last is the social enterprise canvas. So when you're working on a non-profit, so there are some special regulations for that. So that is why you should use the social enterprise canvas for focusing on that. But like to summarize this slide, right? Business model canvas is the most widely used canvas which you can use for like almost any type of businesses. But like when you get at an advanced stage, you can use one of these specific canvases, right, to improve on certain models. Okay. Now we'll come to the business model canvas. This is how the commercial version of the business model canvas looks like. It was invented by Alex Osterwalder, a Swiss entrepreneur and researcher. Yes. So it consists of the 9 blocks you can see: key partners, key activities, key resources, and so on, right? 9 blocks. Will like I will come to each block and explain like what we have to fill in each block. One important aspect I want to highlight is you can consider this business model canvas is divided into 3 parts. Okay, supply, your value, and then demand, right? So like what I mean by supply is how do you make your product, how do you deliver it to the customer, right? So the customer part will come on the demand side. So this is going to be very useful because while filling the canvas, you might get confused, right? Whether this part should come in the channel or key resource or key activity or customer relationship. So whenever you're filling, if you're filling on the left hand side, just remember that you are focusing on the supply part. If you're filling on the right hand side, remember you're filling on the demand side. So again, when we come to that block, you will understand what type of confusion I'm talking about. Okay. Another frequently asked question is, how should you start filling the blocks, right? You have 9 blocks, like which one to fill first? So like there is no thumb rule, right, how you should start, but like my suggestion is start with the value proposition, because at initial stage many of you might just have an idea and haven't thought about like other parts, like who will be your partners, segments. So let's say you just have an idea or just have a problem, so always start with the value proposition and then slowly move towards other parts. The beauty of this business model canvas is that it is a very holistic approach to business. If you are filling all these blocks, like you are almost covering all aspects of your business. Okay. So that is a summary of the business model canvas. Before going to the explaining each block separately, I'll just like to take 2 examples, right, 2 business examples, and explaining the canvas with respect to them. So the first business example is like my own startup, Neoperk Technologies. We are actually an agri-tech startup, right? We have built a technology-based product for agriculture domain. We are currently offering soil testing service for farmers and agri-businesses, and our value proposition is we provide end-to-end tech and data-driven solutions. Okay. The second example I want to take is a D2C brand. You guys understand what is a D2C? Anybody would like to answer that? What is a D2C? No. Anyone else? No. So D2C is actually direct to customer, right? You might have heard about B2C and B2B. So D2C is actually a new segment which is coming up in the startup ecosystem, direct to customer, right? You see, there are platforms like Amazon and Flipkart. They take like very high commissions if you are selling it on their platforms. So that is why like startups have like come up with new innovation, trying to sell directly to the customers. They have their own channels, most probably a website or their Instagram page where they are selling the products, right? So we call it a D2C brand, a direct to customer brand. Okay. You guys understood, like any example you want to give of a D2C brand which you have come across? No, Flipkart is a platform, right, where people come and sell. Yeah, Nykaa is a very good example of D2C, right? Nykaa was actually one of the pioneers of D2C brand in India. Okay. Meesho again is a platform, right, where people put their products and other people buy. So Meesho is actually a very different type of social commerce platform. But like Nykaa is the perfect example of a D2C. Okay. So this D2C brand is actually into healthy protein-rich products. So protein bars and peanut butter and so on. So this brand sells those products, and their value proposition is they have a very strong digital presence, right? On Instagram, on Facebook, and so on. They have a very strong digital presence. And their key value proposition is transparency in ingredients. They claim that other protein-rich products, right, they have some other ingredients which are not shown to you very clearly, like right, which are not healthy for you. But these people, they show their ingredients right in front, right on the front of the cow. So that is their key value proposition of this D2C brand. Okay. So with these two examples, we'll now start filling each of the blocks of the business model canvas. Yeah. So the first block is the value proposition. So while filling these blocks, you should answer the first few questions, right? What is the idea you have, right? You guys might be having some idea. What is the problem you are solving for the customer, right? Is the customer getting satisfied with this? It is very important, right? Sometimes we might have an idea, right, that I will build this product and it will be very useful to the customer. But you should also validate if that value is actually getting delivered to the customer, and is he satisfied with that? So this is an iterative process, and you will learn. Okay. And what are the characteristics, right? Sometimes, okay, so there can be various characteristics. Your product can be new. Your product can have a better performance. It can be customized. Okay, let's take the example of Neoperk, right? What is our value? Like I actually explained it in the previous slide. Anybody would like to answer? What is the value proposition of Neoperk?
Agriculture product supply.
But what is the value that is being delivered?
Agriculture is used in a technical way.
Yeah, close to that. Like what our value is actually an end-to-end tech-driven solution, right? So the challenge in agriculture is things are not very easily accessible in rural areas. So we provide complete end-to-end solution, right? A person will go to your fields, come to your fields, provide you service. So an end-to-end tech-driven solution is Neoperk's value proposition. So what is the value proposition of the D2C brand which I mentioned? D2C brand?
Rural to urban.
No, D2C brand, the second example which we were taking. So protein is the product, right? Protein rich. What is the value that they are delivering? Why will I buy that D2C product instead of something else?
Price, it is direct.
Who answered that? Transparency? Yeah, so that is actually the value, right? They are being very transparent. Like people are health conscious. They don't want to buy just protein-rich products and do harm to their health, right? But these this D2C brand, they are very transparent about what they are putting in and how healthy it is, right? So that is their value proposition. You guys can come up with any idea or any solution. You need to be very clear what is your value proposition, and also why will somebody pay for this, right? Again, coming back to that, why will anybody pay for your value that you are delivering? Okay. So next. So customer segment. Like before starting this, I would like to ask you a question. What is the difference between a customer and a consumer?
कस्टमर वो जो खरीदता है और कंज्यूमर जो लास्ट में उसको कंज्यूम करेगा.
That's a absolutely correct answer. Okay. So right. So you also need to be very clear, right, before filling this block. Like, are you filling this for your customer or consumer, right? It depends upon your business, right? Are your customer and consumer same or different, right? We name this customer segment, but like you can actually have you can make separately. These are my customers and these are my consumers. Now, when you are filling the value proposition, you have to fill it with respect to your consumer, right? Because it is going to be used by a consumer. So, what is the value being delivered to the consumer at the end? Okay, the customer is the one who is actually going to make the buying decision. Okay, so just be very careful. You have to keep both of them in mind. If both of them are common, it's going to be very easy. But if they are separate, like you have to decide your strategy accordingly. Okay, so for whom are we creating the value, right? You have to make segments. Again, let's take the example of Neoperk. I mentioned two segments in our slide. Like, anybody want to point? Like, who are our customers? Neoperk's customers. Farmers, and second one? Okay, no problem. Agri-businesses, right? So agri-businesses is anybody who is doing business in agriculture, right? Like that is selling fertilizers, seeds, etc. So these are two segments which we have in Neoperk, right? We need to answer like what is the value that we are delivering to these customers. Like for a farmer, like we are giving him an end-to-end solution. He doesn't have to travel like long distances, waste his time to just go and get his sample tested, and also we give him timely results. Agri-business, what value we deliver? Let's say a fertilizer company. Okay. With the soil test result, farmer understands what he needs to apply, right? Or how much fertilizer to buy. So with that, the sales of the agribusiness or the fertilizer retailer will increase. So that is the value which we tell to our customer segment. So you need to match like what value is being delivered to which customer segment. Okay. The second second example, right? The D2C brand. Who do you think will be their customer?
People going to gyms.
People going to gyms. Yeah, that is one segment. Any other? Any guesses?
Athlete.
Athletes, even they can be. Anyone else?
Fitness freaks.
Yeah, fitness freaks. And another, like, I would like to segment as like somebody who care about their health more, right? Because all the segments which you mentioned actually already have access to protein-rich products, right? But like people who won't be actually buying from this normal traditional means, right, will be the ones who are very cautious about their health. I do not want to consume a protein bar which is being sold by a gym trainer, right? I would like to know what is being sold to me. Is it healthy for me? So people who are very health conscious, like that could be a very good segment. Right. Also, like while doing your customer segmentation, you should also focus on TAM, right? Total addressable market. Now, that is a very like when you're starting a business in startups, right? You say that you should focus on a big market so that the opportunity is big. Now, how do you calculate a TAM? Is what is you're selling, right? At what price you are selling? Let's say I'm selling a soil testing service at X rupees. And how many farmers are there in the country? Y. So X into Y. Again, there can be, you need to also segment, right, which farmers are actually going to afford to take my service and so on. But you need to do that TAM, a total addressable market calculation for your customer segment. Just keep that in mind. Yeah. And like I said, for platform businesses like Amazon or let's say Zomato, right? Zomato has restaurants as well as, what do you call it? People like us, right, who order on the app. Like, will you call restaurants as a customer of Zomato?
Yes.
No. So this can be a little confusing, right? Can we go to the next slide? Okay. Just go next. One more. Yeah. So sometimes customers and partners can be very confusing, right? This is somewhere we also like always had a thought. So I will just give you a simple rule, like you are the business owner, so you decide like which you want to consider customer, which you want to consider partner. The actual like how you can easily distinguish is the value part. So a partner is the one who is adding value to you. Okay. Let's say the delivery guys, right, for Zomato who are delivering. So Zomato is only giving them money, right, only paying them salary or per delivery is going only salary. But the delivery boy is actually adding value to him, right, by delivering, right. So they are actually the partners, the delivery guys. They are that's why they call them delivery partners. But the restaurants, they're actually not adding any value. Rather, Zomato is adding value to the restaurant, right? It is increasing their sales. So the restaurant will be called a customer, not a partner. Okay. So that is how I like to distinguish. If I am adding value to them, then they are my customer. If they are adding value to me, they are my partner. Okay. Is that clear? Okay. So customer relationships, right? This is how we want to connect with our customers, right? Now again, this will vary from your segment to segment. Like when I am at Neoperk, if I am talking to a farmer, right, he wouldn't use a WhatsApp. He would like me to call him or actually meet him in person. So we need to understand which segment likes to what type of relationship. For youngsters, you will like somebody to text rather than come on a call sometimes, right? So that is what you need to feel in relationships. What type of relationship your customer wants to maintain with you. Like it can be like a personal assistance, like in case of farmers. It can be automated, right? Sometimes you have some queries. You just want the messenger. You don't want to talk to a real person. This can happen sometimes. So you just need to identify like which customer relationship you want to maintain. Okay. And then there is the channels. Now channels, like I said, this is on the demand side, right? Channels means how do you distribute to the customers, right? What channels you want to take to distribute. Like here, Instagram can itself be a distribution channel, right? Where you are getting orders. Okay. Again, a question. What is the difference between marketing and sales? Yeah.
Marketing means advertising.
Can you repeat that?
Marketing means advertising.
Yeah, you can refine that. You can refine that. It's not just advertising. Why do we advertise something?
To make it appealing.
Not really. Yeah, that can be one aspect. But yeah, more.
Sales is part of marketing, where marketing is a wider term. Like marketing includes sales, awareness, giving information about something. It's all
Giving information about something. Okay, I will like to call it awareness, right? Marketing means awareness. Like it's like pre-sales. You create the buzz, right? Why this product is important, why you need it. Marketing is more like creating awareness, and sales is like where you actually close the deal, right? You get the money from them, right? So these channels, like this is like if you can see, there are 5 phases. First is awareness, which actually comes in the marketing side. Evaluation, when you are doing marketing, you need to analyze the if you are posting something, how many people is that post reaching, how many of them are interacting with them, right? So you need to evaluate that. Then is the purchase, where actually the sales is happening, right? And then you have to deliver the product. And fifth part is the after sales service, right? Even after you have done the sales, you need to ensure that the customer comes back again, right? Repeat rate after sales. So these are different phases of channels, and you need to answer all of them, right? What will be your marketing channel? What will be your sales channel? What will be your after sales channel? Okay. So this might be slightly confusing. What is the relationship and what is the channel? So relationship is what you want to maintain or what the customer wants you to maintain. It's a type of bond you want to maintain. Channels are like the actual mediums through which you will be maintaining those relationships. Is that clear? Okay. So next slide is actually the partner slide. So this I am very well I think cleared, right? A partner is somebody who is adding value to you, and again this is on the supply side. Let's say I am making some product, right? Again, let's take example for Neoperk. Neoperk is making a rapid soil testing device. It is a small box which looks like this, right? It's an electronic device. So my key partners will be semiconductor companies who are delivering those electronic components, right? There will be other partners who are helping me on building that product and delivering that product, right? So who are actually adding value to me. Any agri startup, right, who is helping me to connect with other farmers, right? Giving me access to their existing customer base. They are like partners for me. For the D2C brand, the partners will be suppliers of those ingredients, right? Key ingredients which they are selling, right? So those are the partners. You need to answer like which people are necessary for me to deliver my value, right? Without them, you can't deliver the value. They are your key partners. Okay. Key activities. Key activities are like action items which you need to do to deliver those values, right? You need to build a product. You need to set up a manufacturing unit. You need to incorporate your company with key activities without which your business can't run, right? Those are your key activities. And next, key resources, right? Key resources, right? If you want to build a business, you will require resources, right? You need money, right, to give to salaries. You need money again to buy stuff. There might be IP, right, intellectual property requirements. If you are building something tech-driven, something unique, right, you will require the IP for it, copyrights, right. There is also physical and human requirements. You always require a team to build something, right. So these are the key resources you will require. Like in terms of again Neoperk, our key resources are our IP, the product that we have built, our team. Then all the data that we have, right? Data is a very key resource that we have. And for the D2C, their formula, right? How they are building those clean, protein-rich food items. Those are their key resources. So this was the most important part of the business model. I will just like to take a break and like ask you: is there any question in any of these 7 blocks? Any questions? No? Yeah.
बिजनेस में कस्टमर्स तो बहुत हो गए, तो उनसे सबके साथ कैसे अपन मतलब रिलेशनशिप रख सकते हैं?
So, like when you are starting a business, right? It depends at which stage you are to answer that question. So, let's say you have 5 segments. You have ideated and identified 5 segments. What they say, right? You always start with a beachhead market or only select very select number of segments, 1, 2, which is the best segment for you to start with, and only focus on one segment. Win that segment first, and then expand to other segments, right? A very good example is Amazon, right? Amazon used to only sell books at when they started, right? They were not selling everything to everyone, right? They were only selling books to who loves books, right? So to start with, you have to just focus on one segment, right? And just what type of relation you want to have with those book buyers, right? When you are getting to an advanced stage, when you have multiple segments, that is when you will have to look at other canvases as well, like customer persona canvas. You will have to look at a different canvas for each customer persona, because each type of customer will have different types of requirements, different types of relations they would like to maintain. So does that answer your question? Okay. Any other questions? No. I just want to highlight one more thing. So I think when you see the actual business model canvas, like do we have the physical copies? Yes. Okay, you have, right? So if you see on the top right corner, there will be an iteration number. So filling up this business model canvas is a very iterative process. Let's say we are filling it today, then you should fill it up again after a quarter or so, right? Because it's not going to be the same, right? Your business is going to evolve over time, and so is your business model canvas. It is a tool through which you can analyze how is your business changing over time. Okay. Okay. So should we move forward? Any other questions before that? No? Okay, good. So the last 2 things are the cost structure, cost structure and revenue streams, right? Cost structure is like you need to identify what are the key costs in your business, right? You need to give salaries to people, you need to buy ingredients or products and so on. Right? You need to identify which are the most expensive things in your company, right? Right now we see a lot of startups are doing layoffs because they hired too heavily. Now they want to cut their costs, so that is why they are laying off employees. So that is why it is very important for you to be very mindful of these costs right from your initial days. Right. While doing this cost structuring, there will be 2 types of costs. One is the fixed cost. That is like this is the minimum amount you need to have in your bank account to run your startup continuously, right? This will be like your office rent, your employee salaries, the admin office, right? That is who are going to be there for forever, right? Then the compliance, right? There might be some compliance, etc. Then there will be the variable cost. These costs are which are actually dependent upon the products. Let's say I am going to sell 10 products, so it will be dependent upon for one product I am going to cost X rupees. So for 10 products it's going to be Y. So that is the variable cost. So you need to have a cost structure, how much you are spending where. You should have those accounts. Okay. For again, like going back to the examples for Neoperk, the main costs are like employee salaries, and office rent and compliance, right? It's pretty common for most startups and companies. And the variable cost is on the product side, right? How many units we want to make, and also the operation side, right? We have to travel to fields, right? We need to take a vehicle or take a train and so on. Operations, traveling, these are our variable costs. For the D2C startup, again, the fixed costs remain more or less the same. The variable cost is how many protein bars they are making, right? That is one, and another is the delivery cost. They have to deliver directly to the customer, so that will have an additional cost component. So with that, the last block is the revenue streams. Okay, like somebody mentioned, right? The key part of the business is generating profits or generating revenue to start with. Okay, so when does a person pay for your service or product? When you are delivering value. So you need to identify for what part of the product or service is the customer going to pay. Okay, if he is not paying, what are the other business models through which we can earn money, right? Like Google and Facebook, how do they earn money? I think everybody knows that. How does Facebook and Google earns money? Exactly. So you need to figure out, right, how will you extract money from your customers, right, such that their usage doesn't drop. It's very important. Okay, so this is actually one of the reasons why initial stage many startups are not profit generating. They are generating revenue or sometimes not even revenue generating, because they want to grow, they want to increase their user base, and after that they try to monetize those that user base. They might not be willing. Take an example of WhatsApp. They might not be willing to pay for using the WhatsApp, but like at a later stage they might be willing to buy other services using that WhatsApp account. So those things you have to figure out, why will the user pay and how much will they pay. Now there are different types of what do you call models, right? How you can actually charge the customer. Like coming to the example of Neoperk, right? We offer soil testing service. We have a product, but we don't directly sell it to a farmer, because the farmer doesn't have enough money to buy the whole product itself. Also, he doesn't requires it for the entire year or for his lifetime. He just wants to test once or twice in a year. That is why we offer a soil testing service under a pay-per-use service model. You understand pay-per-use service model? Like every time they test a soil sample, we charge them. So this is one business model. If we take the example of the D2C brand, they are outrightly selling their protein bar, right? So if somebody is buying that protein bar, like they are just paying 100 rupees and getting the protein bar. So that's a simple sales model. So similarly, depending upon your business, you will have to innovate on how do you charge your customer, right? So that their usage doesn't drop. Okay, there are different types of sales model, like sales usage fee, like a pay-per-use service model. There is subscription fees, like most of the software are sold as a SaaS product, like subscription software as a service. Like every month they charge you, right? There is licensing and brokerage fees, right? Like if anybody is using trading account like Zerodha or something, like they take brokerage on fees. And similarly, Amazon and other platforms, like a vendor is selling something, a buyer is buying something, Amazon takes a commission on that sell, right? Then there is fixed or dynamic pricing. Like many times a person might be willing to pay 10 rupees but not 50 rupees. So what you can do is you can make certain features free for him at 10 rupees, and other features can be charged at a higher price, right? So it can be a feature dependent pricing. And another is customer dependent pricing, right? Like in our case, we price it very differently for a farmer and for a business, right? That is for a retailer. A farmer is only going to use that data to grow a crop, but you take the agribusiness, he is going to take that data and going to grow his business. He's going to earn more money. Like you calculate how much money he's going to earn through our data, and then you take you make a calculation that this much he is at least willing to pay. So that is how you calculate how much he is going to pay. So with that, like I will sum up the revenue streams. So I think you all got the idea how to start filling it. Start with the value, the idea, the problem that you are solving. Then go to the customers, right? Who are going to whom am I delivering these values, right? For whom I am solving this problem. How do I want to maintain these relationships with the customers, and what are the channels I can reach to these customers? Then you move to the partners, right? Who are the partners who are going to help me solve this problem, right? Make this product, make this service, deliver to the customers. Which are the key activities I need to do to deliver this service, and which are the key resources without which you can't build the product or service. And then identify which are the key costs and how will you make the money. So these are all the blocks of the business model canvas. Next slide. So with that, actually what I was planning is, you guys have been given a blank copy, right? You guys can think of your own idea, right? You might have your own idea. If not, you can take an example business and start filling this up. So while you start filling now, a lot of questions will start coming up. So we can take those questions for that. Okay. So we'll take a 10-minute break, and after that we can continue. Okay.
Who are included in the process of delivering a product. Key activities. Key activities of Amazon is to provide services like delivering the product safely. Key resources. People require resources like garments, basic needs and other items. Value propositions, Amazon. Providing services like delivering the product. We save time by ordering the products online. We get value by delivering goods to them. Interesting in searching new products and also customized ads, and also getting filters of costs. Customer relationships. It is not a direct business. It involves various people while delivering the product. Channels. Customers mostly involves advertisement for buying the product. Examples, ads which come in Facebook, Instagram, etc. Customer segments. We create values only for customers. Customers should be satisfied. Cost structure. The cost may differ from product to product. There may also be filters for cash value from low to high. It also accepts gift cards, etc. Revenue streams. Customers are willing to pay for the needs and the value.
Like if you see carefully, now Amazon has actually two revenue streams. One, it started with like taking commissions from the suppliers to buyers, right, on each day. Now they have the Prime subscription, right?
Yes.
So like,
1 day delivery.
yeah, 1 day delivery. So actually, I think you mentioned it in value proposition, right? Delivery. So that is also a very key component. Otherwise it's quite comprehensive. Like you guys want to add?
What was the key activities that you mentioned? The key activities of the Amazon is to provide services like delivering the product safely.
So Amazon does have many other key activities, and safety is definitely one of them. The second one is timely delivery also. It has many features like you say 1 day delivery and all those things. So that it has to ensure to maintain its brand name. So that is one of the key activities. In revenue stream.
My name is Pharmax. It is a pharmaceutical company, pharmacy distribution company. So the key partners are investors, medicine producers, regulators, and pharmaceutical brands. The key activities is sales and marketing, medicine distribution, and expert consultation. The key resources are brands, app websites, employees, pharmacy producing companies, international relations. The value proposition is 24/7 services and delivery, free consultation from experts, premium subscription which provides reasonable discounts, and it has worldwide access. The customer relationship is self-service, ease of use, and on demand. Channels are any device, the Pharmax app, online advertising, offline advertising, local medicals, and social media. Customer segment is senior citizen friendly, categorized preference filters. Cost structure is production, licensing, infrastructure, marketing, transportation, payment processing fees. A revenue stream is advertisement from various pharmaceutical companies, product placement, subscription model, and consultation services. Thank you.
On the customer segment, you only mentioned senior citizens, right?
Yeah, but especially for senior citizen, because it is really hard for them to use the app.
Okay. Can you repeat that last sentence?
Because it is especially hard for them to use the app, right? So I mentioned because it is senior citizen friendly. बाकी लोग use कर सकते हैं, but for senior citizen it is really hard to use because they don't know the technologies.
So you will focus more on senior citizens,
Yeah.
right? Okay.
Because the main customer or these pharmaceutical companies are senior citizen only because they need medicine on a daily basis nowadays.
Okay, great. So I just wanted to say two things. One is in the value proposition slide, the blog, you can also do one more thing is differentiation, right? Your value, like we call it USP, right? Unique selling proposition. Your value should also be differentiating with respect to your competition. Like this come to my mind because e-pharmacy is a very competitive business nowadays, right? So when you're defining your value, try to also answer that question, like how are you differentiating from existing players in the market? Okay, like again, this might take some time. You will have to define a value, test it with your customer, see if he is actually finding that value. It is going to be an iterative process, but if you can also differentiate yourself with that value, right, with respect to existing competition, that will be a very good thing. And second thing I wanted to say is right now you guys are filling in multiple things in each block, and that is absolutely fine. But like when you are actually starting a business, the right way would be to narrow it down, right? Focus on one type of business model to start with, to test, right? Focus on one segment. Like I really like how you focus on senior citizens only to start with because they require medicine more regularly, right? So and so on. So when you are actually starting a business, it will be better to narrow it down, focus on your strengths or what you can actually do better. But it's good. For now, you can fill multiple options. That's not a problem.
Who's next? Just give her the mic.
कोई पर्टिकुलर बिजनेस पे नहीं है जो ऐसा फ्यूचर के लिए तो कैसा फाइनेंशियल सर्विस जो कंपनी हो या बिजनेस जो फाइनेंशियल सर्विस प्रोवाइड करते हैं उसको ले गए जैसे की पार्टनर उसके बिजनेस हो जाएंगे एनजीओ फिर जो एसबीआई टाइप बैंक होते हैं जो दूसरों को फाइनेंस प्रोवाइड करते हैं वो हो गए फिर जैसे जो न्यू एंटरप्रेन्योर्स होते हैं या स्टार्टअप शुरू करते हैं उनको स्टार्टिंग में इतने नहीं पता होता कि उनको कहाँ कैसे इन्वेस्ट करना है तो उनको हेल्प करता है की एक्टिविटीज में जैसे कॉस्ट कटिंग हो गया तुम अपना प्रोडक्शन कैसे कॉस्ट में कम करोगे प्रॉब्लम सॉल्विंग हो गया अपना रेवेन्यू कैसे बढ़ा सकते हो मतलब प्रोडक्शन में पैसा कम डाल के भी तुम्हारा रेवेन्यू अच्छा खासा बढ़ सकता है फिर की रिसोर्सेज में उसे फाइनेंशियल इंफॉर्मेशन ही प्रोवाइड कर सकता है क्योंकि वो कंपनी उसी के लिए कि वो सर्विसेज प्रोवाइड करे फिर वैल्यू प्रोपोर्शन में वो अपना जो कंपनी बहुत सी कंपनी ऐसे हो जाती है जैसे कोविड में बहुत सी कंपनी नीचे जा रही है क्योंकि उनको पता नहीं है कि कहाँ इन्वेस्ट करना है उनके पैसे या जो भी है सही से तो उनको बताएगी कि अभी तुम्हें इस टाइम पे किस तरह से हेल्प करना है दूसरों को फिर ब्रांड इमेज कैसे बनाना है या स्टेटस कैसे बढ़ाना है फिर वो कॉस्ट ऑफ प्रोडक्शन सब कैसे कम करके रेवेन्यू बढ़ाना है कस्टमर रिलेशनशिप में फिजिकली और इलेक्ट्रॉनिकली जैसा भी आपने बोला वैसे भी हो सकता है, लेकिन मेनली लोग फिजिकली प्रीफर करते हैं कि सामने से बैठ के बातें हो, तो वो ज़्यादा इफेक्टिव रहता है। फिर चैनल्स में तो प्रोवाइडिंग अवेयरनेस होगा। मेन चैनल तो यही है कि अवेयर बताएं कि तुम ये मत करो, इससे तुम्हारा और कॉस्ट कम होगा या बढ़ेगा वैसा। और कस्टमर न्यू बिजनेस, एनजीओस, फिर एंटरप्रेन्योर, स्टार्टअप वैसे। और उनका रेवेन्यू कैसे, रेवेन्यू उनका सिर्फ वही होगा जो उनको फीस मिलेगी या जो चार्ज करेगी उससे रेवेन्यू बढ़ेगा। और कॉस्ट स्ट्रक्चर उनके जो ऑफिस हो गए या जो उनके वर्कर्स हो गए उनको पे किया हो, या इलेक्ट्रॉनिकली गए तो उसमें जो अपने ई फॉर्म 1, 2 जो भी हम भरते उसमें जो भी पैसा गया ना उतना ही होगा, मतलब लिमिटेड कॉस्ट होता है।
अभी ना जो सोशल मीडिया है या जो इंटरनेट है, जो डिजिटल है, उसका जो पावर है वो बहुत ज़्यादा है। मतलब जिस थिंकिंग की फिजिकल इंटरेक्शन से हम ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा लोगों को कन्विंस कर पाएंगे वुड नॉट बी राइट। मे बी इट वुड बी कि आप ऐसे कोल्ड मेलिंग करें कि यू नो लेट्स हैव अ क्विक डेमो सेशन, हम कैसे आपके लिए कॉल स्केड्यूल कर सकते हैं, कैसे बात कर सकते हैं। क्योंकि जो डिजिटली आप अचीव कर सकते हैं वो ज़्यादा वॉल्यूम में आप अचीव कर पाएंगे। आप फिजिकली किसको बोल सकते हैं जो आपके विसिनिटी में या एरिया में है, उनको ही आके या उनसे ही बात कर सकते हैं। तो दैट आई थिंक या लाइक एनी अदर।
And physical का एक और aspect in cost, like if you are meeting somebody personally, right, there is a cost attached to it, right? You have to go and meet him personally, travel expense, like human resource expense. Digitally, you just have to send the mail, right? That can reach 1,000 people. So if you are focusing on physical, that is not a problem, but there will be a cost attached to it. The reason why people go towards more digital because it's more scalable, it's lower cost, right? So just keep that in mind. Just what will be your key value proposition with this, right? Making loan dispersal very easy.
टैक्स में हेल्प करना या जो भी नए लॉज आ रहे हैं उनमें प्रोवाइड करना, मतलब कंसल्टेंसी टाइप।
Okay.
थैंक यू।
So, one more last we go for, or anybody more? How many of you are? Okay, please.
Hi, I'm Renee, and my business model canvas is basically on a college stationery inventory. And so the value propositions are the stationery products and goods, everything, and making an inventory to solve the problem of maintaining a register. So we can directly make an inventory on that. And this project basically targets on people like the colleges so that they can keep a track of their products that are supplied. Okay, so the customer relationship, mostly the customers can be the person who is selling the product and the person who is buying from the colleges, not any other else. Channels can be according to the needs. It can be channelized through the college websites, or it can be we can make a separate website on it, or people like going through every classes and promoting it. Customer segments can be the value that are created for the college faculties and students using the products from existing inventory. So the main customers here are students and the faculties. Key activities are promoting it on through the college website, or again making a separate website for it and promoting it to different classes. So can you repeat the word that you use for promoting into classes, like the word?
Customer segmentation?
No. Sorry. Awareness, or every classes, like someone is going and promoting at every classes. So.
Word of
Yeah,
mouth
thank
marketing.
you. Mouth to mouth. So, and the key partners, warehouse, like we can directly contact to the warehouse and the products that can be actually made, and those are the key partners. And cost structure, like buying it at a bulk products and selling it like license, and then corporate issues if there are more products like that. And key resources can be your raw products that are used. I did not understand the revenue stream, so I have left it blank because it is like a college inventory. So what would be exactly, if you can suggest me something on that?
So firstly, I think this is a very profitable business because I have been in college, like there was a stationery shop right inside our college.
This
right?
actually we are making for the college, Vivek College, like a live project it could be.
Okay, that's great. So, like, one thing I would like to know is where do you stand? Like, are you the college or are you a business who is making it for college?
I'm a business who is making it for the college.
Okay, great. So college is your partner.
Yeah.
Okay. So you want to know how to make revenue, right?
Yeah.
And the products are being sold by you, right? Actually, no.
The products are not sold by me. We are just keeping an inventory, like track of every product.
So who is getting the product? The college is getting it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they will be supplying it to every student or faculty as per the needs.
So there can be different models. One can be a subscription model. Like you have to figure it out with your college, right?
Okay.
Like how is college willing to pay? That is very important. So one is subscription model. You can charge college like based on how much products you are selling. There can be tier-based pricing, right? Let's say you are selling products of this much value, right, for this month. So you will charge this much. If the value increases, then you can charge this much. Subscription model, right? Otherwise, there can be a commission-based model. If you are selling 10,000 rupees products, you can charge 5%, 10% commission, etc. Right? Otherwise, another way, like I'm not sure if college is interested in getting their own products. Like you can actually get those products and give a commission to the college. That can be another. So
I did not understand the term. Can you repeat it?
So here you are saying the college is getting the products and you are just helping in inventory management and selling. Right. What I'm saying, you get the products and you sell it through your platform and give a commission to the college. Right. You are using a college name and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it depends on like you and college, right? You need to figure out like which model you both are comfortable with. So there can be multiple streams, right, through which you can make money.
Thank you.
I just had a query. Yeah, so like I just want to understand. So it's like the notebooks and all, suppose the textbooks and all, the college is buying and selling it to the students. So that inventory you are managing, right?
Yeah.
So like you can do one more thing which can improve is right now what happens, student comes like pays 200 rupees and takes the book. So there might be some issues in that, like someone gave a lesser note by mistake and you didn't check or something. You can do it on the college website itself. You pay it online and then just come and collect it. So you can put that platform as well on the college so that it would be easy for you to also to maintain the
I just want to add to the idea, right? It's
Sure.
very interesting. So, like, the product could be something like an automatic vending machine for college stationery. I'm not sure if somebody has thought about. Like, you can get cans and so on, right? Because during assignment submission days, there's a lot of rush, right? If there are automatic vending machines for this, right? You are anyway making a software. This college needs to be willing to pay for it.
Thank you.
So, because
I request students to please fill the feedback form and one of our volunteer can collect it.
Start with value proposition is because it's important factor of business model canvas. So the value proposition first, what products and services are we offering? So we are offering eco-bricks. What eco-bricks exactly is? It's a bottle with filled of plastic bags. Why plastic bags? Because it causes a methane gas which is very harmful for our environment. So it's like we create a brick out of bottles and plastics. Next is which problem do we solve? We solve all the environment problems like cause it's really harmful. Plastic is really harmful for our environment. Next is characteristics. What characteristics are of our products? it's new. Like EcoBricks, it's not that new, but it's many people are not aware about EcoBrick. So it's price and cost effective. So it's not that कि अरे बहुत महंगा है नहीं afford कर सकते. Waste से बना है सस्ता ही होगा. Then it's convenience, like design जो है वो customize है. हम कुछ भी design कर सकते हैं with a house, chandelier or anything, whatever we like to. Then it's customer relationships. Customer relationships, like what type of relationship do we maintain? So it's like a personal assistant, like a customer can directly contact us. And the communities, as you said, it's like group or incubation centers, we can contact them for our good business. Then customer segments, like we can contact NGOs, social servers or companies for partnerships, and schools and many organizations who are willing to do some like social entrepreneurs, or we can contact them as well. Then the key partners, it's like the scrappers, so that we can buy plastic bottles and plastic from them. Then motivations and partnerships, it's like optimization and risk. As you said that it includes less risk or something. Then reduction of risk or uncertainty, it's like it's not harmful. So ऐसा भी नहीं होगा कि अरे आप ये प्रोडक्ट बना रहे हो तो आपके वजह से एनवायरनमेंट को हार्म हो रहा है तो आप ये बंद कर दो, ऐसा कुछ इशू नहीं क्रिएट होगा आपके बिजनेस में. Then the key activities, like firstly we need to aware about this so that people know कि हाँ EcoBrick करके ऐसा कुछ है एनवायरनमेंट में जो सस्ता भी है, सस्टेनेबल है एंड कुछ हार्म नहीं होगा उससे. Then it's manufacture. It's like the channel what we use. It's manufacturer to consumer directly. Then the revenue streams, as you said, like we can contact angel investments, as the Sagar Sanshu sir said last time, and incubation centers as well. Then we can target NGOs for the same. Key resources, what requirements we need for this? It's like human, like labor, land, capital, one plastic make, and maybe trademark for the company. Then the cost structure, it's like we require cost for labor, land, plastic waste, traveling, like for the shipping charges, and salaries and etc. for the employees. Yeah. And the revenue stream is like how would you prefer to pay, like online payment, or what exactly will be your price? So if an EcoBrick, we are making an EcoBrick, this cost price of an EcoBrick is 50, so the selling price will be 80, like not that costly or that expensive.
I think actually that covered almost everything. So one benefit, why D2C people invented the D2C model was to charge premiums, right? In fact, like if you see D2C brand, they are charging premiums. If they are making something for like 40 rupees, they are selling it at 100 rupees. They have 60% margins. So that is one of the benefit of D2C. The downfall is your market size is small, right? Like eco-friendly bricks, there won't be a lot of people who will be buying your bricks, right? So that narrows it down. Like you mentioned, on the value proposition side, it's cost effective. So it doesn't necessarily mean that you only sell it to people who want eco-friendly products. You can sell it to anyone, right? At that time the value will be that it's cost effective, not that it's being made of plastic. So it's, again, like depending upon your segment, you should map out what is the value that they want. They want cost effective. They don't care if it's made out of plastic or not. Okay. So otherwise, I think it covered most of the things. Yeah.
And environment friendly. The material required is the plastic bottle in which you fill in the plastic wrappers or everything. That means we are talking about nature, environment sustainability. So that is another key factor to their product.
There's this startup called Ecoplastic, like they do a lot of what you are saying. I mean, recycling and reusing plastic. Well, you can check them out. Maybe you can get some.
I will just share you, like they have a very interesting model. So like in your case, you mentioned in the key partners like scrap dealers, right?
Yeah.
So this Ecoplastic, this is actually an Africa-based startup, like we met in Australia. So their key partners are actually slum dwellers, small children in slums, right? You see a lot of plastic being thrown in slum areas. So so those slum dwellers, they have to collect those plastics and submit it at Ecoplastic centers, and in return they give them insurance policies or cash coupons and so on. So that will be a good way, right, in which you can actually get those plastics. Like in India, scrap dealers actually trade in money, right? They return the scrap and get the money. But like that was an innovative way, like they were doing it back in Africa.
Anybody else would like to share this? Wind up here.
Problem, right? It's very important for you to know what is the problem that you are solving, right? Because many times we just directly jump to the solution without understanding is there really a problem that needs to be solved. It is like engineers often do that. They directly build something and then realize it's not required. So it's very important for you to ask like what is the problem I'm solving, right? So like I think she deserves a chocolate.
The graph should not stop in your eyes, that the sparkling and the process. Now what sir has already lightened up. Yes, हमें अभी इससे आगे क्या है? That is and actually there has been a very good sequence. Last lecture and this one. Last we were about what about the problem solving now, and this is how we are building the canvas now. So my dear students, I'm really happy that we are going in a proper way. Our goal is to achieve. Our goal is to have the entrepreneurs from this college, and I think we are striving hard. And the speakers are of course noteworthy and very sufficient enough for you to give the knowledge. So I thank so much for coming here and. I will request Ryan to give a formal vote of thanks.
Good morning, one and all. I, Ryan Chettiar, deem it a great honor and privilege to propose the vote of thanks on this event. On behalf of Vivek College of Commerce, I take this opportunity to propose a humble thank to all those who have directly and indirectly contributed to our session organized by Meraki Pre-Incubation and Incubation Center of Vivek College of Commerce. At the outset, I wish to express my deep sense of gratitude to our chief guest and keynote speaker, Mr. Satyendra Gupta. I also thank Mr. Rushit Dandra and Ms. Vama Setia for accepting our invitation and giving us your valuable time. Sir, my heartfelt thank to you for giving us an excellent coverage on business model canvas. We also thank our respectable principal ma'am, Dr. Vijita Shetty, Anupama Bali ma'am, Anuja Narwarkar ma'am, Dr. Tangadurai sir, and Lubina Gonsalves ma'am for giving us this platform for conducting this successful event. I would like to thank our audience for coordinating throughout this session. Lastly, a heartfelt thank to all Meraki Pre-Incubation and Incubation team members for making this event a great success. Thank you.
Since our last guest lecture, we have started our own Spotify channel. So please listen to the. We will be giving all the links to you all. Visit our YouTube channel, Facebook and Insta as well, Spotify now. Today's session is going to be again. We'll be sending you the link. Plus now, sir is going for the podcasting. So very soon you will be hearing it on Spotify as well. So I wish that you all visit and give more likes to our Spotify channel as well. Thank you so much.